The Hoosiers played the second of back-to-back home games, but did they heed the call of the posters around campus and ground the Gophers?
The Hoosiers women's basketball team hit the road over the weekend to battle the last place Fighting Illini. How'd they do in Champaign?
The 21st ranked Hoosier wrestling team took on the 14th ranked Nittany Lions of Penn State last weekend. Coming up next, you'll see who threw down the victory as this one went to the wire. All this and more coming up tonight on Hoosier Sports Night. Welcome into this edition of Hoosier Sports Night. I'm Kristin Carroll here with Casey Richards.
So let's see, Kristin, we have our first full show of the new semester, our first show on our brand new set here, but the Hoosier basketball team still stuck with their old losing ways.
Well, a basketball team desperately in need of an easy win didn't get thrown a bone. Instead, they got the number 21 ranked Minnesota Golden Gophers. Even though IU's chances looked bleak, they still had a chance at the end. Let's go out to Assembly Hall. Never give up, theme for the 09 Hoosiers. Over-the-shoulder pass from Tom Pritchard down low. Malik Story with the three. Indiana ahead by 5 with a score of 9-4. 3:30 left in the first. Hoosiers still up by 5. Minnesota hits the three and gets the foul. The Gophers close the gap, 23-25. Gophers with the layup. Fouled by Dumas. Minnesota up by 1. First lead of the game. 8 seconds to go in the first. Minnesota with the jumper. It's good, but the Hoosiers aren't done. 1 second on the clock, and it's good! Verdell Jones from half court. A little unexpected, but great momentum going into the second half. Hoosiers with possession, trailing the Gophers by 4. Al Nolan with the steal, no hesitation, slams this one home. Minnesota increases the lead to 6. 15 left in the half, Minnesota up by 3. Daniel Moore with the steal and a 360 spin, easy layup. And some well-deserved celebration from Mr. Moore. 7 minutes to go. Minnesota only holds the lead by 2, and Damian Johnson with the dunk. Common theme for this game from Minnesota. 1:20 to go. IU down by 5. Malik Story hits the shot and gets fouled. Some celebration from the Hoosiers. 6 seconds to go. Hoosiers hoping for a miracle. Dumas attempts the three. Minnesota gets the foul, which would decide the game. Hoosiers lose in a heartbreaker, 67-63.
It's no secret that experienced teams often do the little things to win games. On Sunday, the Big Ten's youngest team failed to capitalize on just that, making only 11 of 21 free throws in a 67-63 loss to Minnesota Sunday afternoon in Bloomington.
When you look at the statistics, we had 3 more turnovers, they had 3 more assists, they made a few more free throws. I mean, those are the kind of things that you go back to that, and if we could have just done this, we could have done that, it's a different story.
We made the stops when we had to. I thought our defense was suspect, especially in they shot 50% in the second half, so it was just the key stops at certain times that the stops we had to get, we did get.
And each time the Hoosiers made a statement, Minnesota had a response. Despite trailing by no more than 7 points all game, Indiana simply couldn't regain the lead that they lost in the closing minutes of the first half.
We don't have a mindset yet where we're just going to slap that floor. Okay, we'll slap the floor, but where we're just going to absolutely get it done. And it's not there yet. And it's getting closer all the time. There's more opportunities for us to have them. But until we string some very, very important stretches of 3 stops in a row together, that's going to happen.
Just make sure we just keep playing all 40 minutes and make sure all our defense assignments are correct. Just don't have any mental lapses during those times, especially in crunch time. So I get to make sure we box our men out, crack on the rebounds and all that, and just make sure we do those things.
But while the losses continue to add up, the Hoosiers refuse to quit.
I mean, I know we've, 8 or 9 on the game losing streak, but I mean, nobody's head is down. We're still ahead of it, playing together and playing well.
That intensity was there. Our execution certainly wasn't always there. Our intelligence wasn't always there. But we had a team of guys that battled, and I never once didn't believe that they didn't think that they could win.
So for the second straight week, the Hoosiers drop a close one here at home. That is 9 straight losses for the Hoosiers. They are now 0-6 in conference play. Next up, a trip Wednesday night to Northwestern, where they hope to right the ship. I'm Ronan O'Shea, Hoosier Sports Night.
Damian Johnson played nearly the entire game for the Gophers and earned himself the team high in points with 18. Big man Ralph Sampson swatted 6 shots by Indiana and pulled down 8 rebounds. As for the lowly Hoosiers, Devin Dumas had the most points in the game, scoring 19. Malik Story was next in line with 14. And a positive is that although the turnovers are still high, they were cut down to 16 in this game compared to 20+ when the season began.
Never, never, never give up. Winston Churchill's quote has been adopted by Coach Tom Crean as a rallying cry for both the Indiana basketball team and the fan base as they go through one of the worst stretches in program history. With a hard-fought 67-63 home loss to Minnesota, the Hoosiers have now lost 9 games in a row and fallen to 0-6 in conference play.
We took it down to the last shot. We've played tough all week, and I think we're going to continue to play like that.
But I do know what I saw this week is a group of guys with the way that they have started to compete in practice that really do believe that they belong in this league. And hopefully we can, gain some momentum from that and find a way to get our first win under our belt and then build from there.
Now today's contest proved that the fans also still believe, as roughly 16,500 turned out and were given a free t-shirt which included the aforementioned quote on the back. Now talking to players and coaches after the game, it was clear that the whiteout effect and the intensity of the fans provided a huge boost for the Hoosiers.
The greatest crowd we've had thus far. I can't tell you enough about what that means. I mean, to see our crowd the way that it is and to see them engage the way they are and how loud it is.
It was amazing today. The crowd definitely helped us. We were tired. Some people were tired and stuff, but I mean, when you hear that crowd just keep cheering and stuff, I mean, you just forget about that and just start playing.
So the only thing the Hoosiers have left to do is take advantage of the home crowd and take a lead in the second half. In both the Penn State and Minnesota games, there were multiple possessions and opportunities where the Hoosiers could take the lead. However, they were unable to convert in either game. This is something that both Coach Crean and the players says they need to work on.
There's going to be a day where we don't kill our own momentum, and right now we do that.
Just make sure we just keep playing all 40 minutes and make sure all our defense assignments are correct. Just don't have any mental lapses during those times, especially in crunch time. We just got to play more collectively, better, and down the stretch.
So again, the final from Assembly Hall, Minnesota 67, Indiana 63. The Hoosiers won't return here until next Saturday when they take on Ohio State. In between, they'll have a road date with Northwestern. Reporting from Assembly Hall and Branch McCracken Court, I'm Casey Richards, Hoosier Sports Night.
The women's game versus the University of Illinois was full of surprises, and it turns out that not all surprises are good.
The Indiana wrestling team faced a Penn State group that was one of the best in the nation. We'll see if the Hoosiers were up to the challenge coming up next on Hoosier Sports Night.